A very good evening. Thank you for joining us for the UBC News tonight. My name is Wadulo Arnold and I'm going to be taking you for the next 1 hour, so do sit tight. Let me give you these news in detail. To start off our first story, the first group of Ugandans evacuated from South Africa has arrived home after weeks of anti-illegal immigration protests and violence against foreign nationals. A total of 273 people returned aboard a special Uganda Airlines charter flight, with the government saying that more evacuation flights will follow as hundreds more Ugandans prepare to return. These are some of the highlights at the airport.
Baganda bange ebize bibuulirwa nti batta abantu bibadde bituufu ebbanga lyonna obulumbaganyi kubagwira bubuze nga bubeerawo ebintu ebyo byonna bizze biba bituufu.
Kuba ne poliisi kennyini eyinza okubeerawo wali eringa eri mu koona nga balina omuntu gwe bakuba naye nga si byeriko, kati kitegeeza n'abantu abakyasigaddeyo tebali seefu.
Bano bagamba mpaawo kintu kyonna kye bakomyewo nakyo era nga
Well, we do apologize, but that story right there, immigrants from South Africa were giving their ordeal about the experiences in South Africa after the xenophobia flights that, the xenophobia activities that were happening in South Africa, forcing the Uganda government to bring them back home. Otherwise, in more news, Uganda's Minister for Health, Dr. Chris Baryomunsi, has appealed to Western countries to review or lift travel restrictions imposed on Uganda and other African nations following Ebola outbreaks. Speaking at the King Caesar University graduation ceremony, Dr. Baryomunsi argued that restrictions are not supported by scientific evidence, saying that the risk of exporting the Ebola virus from affected African countries remains low, estimated at about 30%. He urged the international community to avoid measures that unfairly penalize vulnerable countries while supporting evidence-based public health responses. Let's have a look at those highlights.
An outbreak of Ebola in the country. And I had to authorize this function to take place as the Minister of Health so that the standard operating procedures and public health measures are observed and we eliminate the risk of transmitting some of
the Ebola situation in Uganda featured prominently in the Health Minister, Dr. Chris Baryomunsi's address during this year's King Caesar University graduation ceremony.
But the outbreak that we are having is an imported outbreak of Ebola. The epicenter of this outbreak is in the DRC.
The minister provided an update on the country's response and the current status of the outbreak.
Dynamic movements between Uganda and DRC and vice versa.
Speaking at the event, Dr. Baryomunsi revealed that the Ebola case was traced to an infected traveler who entered Uganda in the May 2026.
Some of the people who had Ebola in Congo came to Uganda seeking health care.
The minister notes that the latest medical reports indicates encouraging progress with the country's response, yielding positive results and hopes that the outbreak will soon be fully brought under control.
Our records show we have 20 confirmed cases which tested positive since then. Of the 20, 15 are Congolese nationals who do not reside here, but who came to Uganda to seek health care. 15. That's why I'm saying it's an imported outbreak.
However, he cautioned that the fight against Ebola is not yet over, explaining that the threat has now extended beyond Uganda's borders and continues to require regional cooperation.
We are working with the government and the people of Congo because it is not enough for us to contain the outbreak here in Uganda when in Congo the situation is bad. Because to date, they have about 1,400 confirmed cases that have tested positive, and around 400 people have died. So their situation is quite different from the situation here in Uganda. Our president has spoken to the president of DRC, and the two governments have agreed that we shall establish 4 treatment centers in Congo, and we have already sent our teams and experts there.
Dr. Bulyomwasi further urges that Africa's Ebola transmission levels remains relatively low and manageable. He calls for a review of travel restrictions imposed on the countries such as Uganda, saying that they are no longer justified by the current public health situation.
I have checked and found out that they exported Ebola from Africa since 1976. The cases of Ebola that have been exported outside Africa are less than 30 in 50 years. So that means, from a public health standpoint, the decisions taken by those countries to restrict travel are not backed by science.
Robert Nyango, UBC News.
The chairman of the National Consultative Forum, NCF, Kiwanda Subi, has decried low funding for the organization. Kiwanda told members of parliament that the annual $450 million for NCF hinders its efforts to facilitate operations, including ensuring that political parties build the necessary consensus on issues of common political interest, and offers a unique institutional mechanism to spearhead political reform processes in the country. The MPs implored the NCF to cultivate fruits of national interest through dialogue, as these details share with us.
Political parties come together under the umbrella body of the National Consultative Forum, NCF, to advance the multi-party democracy in Uganda through dialogue, among other activities. This is what NCF Chairman Kiwanda Godfrey Subi shared with the members of Parliament during the 4th day induction event in Munyonyo.
NCF calls upon teamwork in leadership is very crucial for successful business, as Nelson Mandela said. Without them, firms cannot function effectively. Teamwork represents the foundation for prosperous company, if this country, prosperous country, and it's very important that we embrace teamwork.
The NCF is also a platform to create harmony and peaceful coexistence through mediation, dialogue, and monitoring. Apparently, Uganda has 27 registered political parties. Kiwanda decries its low funding, saying the $450 million allocated annually is not enough.
What can you do with 400 million shillings? The full organization with the office, and that's why you would hear so much about NCF, but you don't hear about it. Honourable members and my brother, the leader of opposition, as your baby, the baby of the house, which is NCF, is poorly funded.
However, the political environment has since been deemed cruel and not leveled to cultivate constructive dialogue, with some players shying away from the contribution of the NCF.
And we see dialogue as one of the most peaceful ways of harmonizing the political space in the country. And we feel it can work only if members, if there's a leveled ground, because sometimes to all the political parties, we feel that all the parties should be given opportunity for their input in some of the reforms they wish to put forward, such that we can have an amicable way of solving the political conflicts in the country.
In terms of representing our opinions, we must fundamentally keep the national interest at heart. And when we do that, there is no way someone can come to try to hurt the national interest, either by the way you behave, or the way you speak, or the way you undermine. So we should not undermine that which is for all of us, because we want our interest is to move our country forward. Even if you're on the other side, eventually one day you may become a leader, and you must find a country that is stable, that is progressive.
During the induction event, the former government chief whip, also former immediate minister for energy and mineral development, Ruth Nankabirwa, warned the MPs against unnecessary borrowing, which has caused trouble to a healthy political economy.
It's something terrible, really. It affects family, you know, because you have family, it affects family. So we need to keep on sensitizing members of parliament. There are many. They can come with proposals for businesses which are not there, and then you mortgage your salary because a business has been proposed to you, which is not there.
Daniel Mugoya, UBC News.
Health Minister Dr. Chris Baryomunsi has assured Ugandans that the country is on the verge of declaring the latest Ebola outbreak over, revealing that only 3 patients remain under treatment and are steadily recovering after Uganda registered 20 confirmed cases, including 2 deaths. However, he urged the public to remain vigilant and continue observing all Ebola prevention measures until the outbreak is completely contained. The minister made these remarks while welcoming the UK's Minister for Africa, Baroness Chapman, to the Uganda Virus Research Institute during her official visit aimed at reaffirming the United Kingdom's commitment to supporting Uganda's fight against infectious diseases through research, science, innovation, and long-term health partnerships.
While welcoming the UK's Minister for Africa, Baroness Chapman, to the Uganda Virus Research Institute in Entebbe, Health Minister Dr. Chris Baryomunsi said Uganda's surveillance and response systems had remained effective in containing disease outbreaks, noting that of the 20 confirmed Ebola cases recorded, 15 involved Congolese nationals, while 2 people succumbed to the disease and the remaining 3 are responding well to the treatment.
Most of the cases we have confirmed here are Congolese nationals who come here for treatment, and the outbreak has been contained. But we are working closely with the government and people of DRC. For instance, we are establishing treatment centers, 4 of them on the side of DRC, so that we can minimize and reduce the numbers of Congolese who are coming here, but rather they should be able to get treatment from their side, and that will help us to manage the situation here in Uganda.
The minister described the long-standing partnership between Uganda and the UK as a historic milestone that has significantly strengthened Uganda's health sector through investments in research, laboratory infrastructure, capacity building, and disease surveillance.
And the government and people of UK here at UVLI, Medical Research Council and UVLI, we get a lot of support from the UK government. We have that collaboration, and as you can notice, the capacity of UVLI has been built and strengthened over time.
Speaking during the visit, Baroness Chapman, the UK's Minister for Africa, reaffirmed the strong historical ties between Uganda and the UK, describing the partnership as one built on a shared commitment to improving global health security.
Uganda, please know that in all the conversations I'm having around the world, I was in Germany earlier this week, had conversations in many different countries about the outbreak, as you would expect. Uganda is being commended everywhere that I have been for the diligence, the transparency, and the thorough work that's been happening here.
Baroness Chapman pledged the UK's continued support towards scientific research, innovation, infrastructure development, and capacity building, emphasizing that strong international partnerships remain essential in responding to emerging health threats.
And one of the reasons we want to partner with you so closely is we completely appreciate the pressure this puts on health professionals and on services. The global spotlight is on this outbreak. We understand that.
We have just finished a large study looking at prevention and treatment of HIV. So we really value the partnership, and we are very happy that the Minister visited us. She has gone through the labs, and also with our Minister of Health and the Minister of State for Health. So we are very happy that we have had this visit.
The visit to the Uganda Virus Research Institute highlighted ongoing collaboration between British and Ugandan scientists in research on HIV/AIDS, tuberculosis, malaria, mpox, Ebola, and other communicable and non-communicable diseases, underscoring the UK's continued investment in strengthening Uganda's health research capacity.
The Minister for Lands, Housing and Urban Development, Judith Nabakova, has intervened in a land wrangle in Bugiri district where over 900 homesteads are being threatened to be evicted. Nabakova's intervention follows President Museveni's directive to the minister tasking her to verify the ownership claims. Let's take a look at the details.
The Minister of Lands, Housing and Urban Development, Judith Nabakova, has launched a nationwide tour aimed at resolving long-standing land disputes. The exercise has kicked off from the eastern region of the country, with the Bugiri district becoming the first stopover. In Bugiri, Minister Nabakova met residents and local leaders to investigate complaints that were forwarded to her by the President of Uganda, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, over a disputed piece of land. More than 900 households are living under the threat of eviction as the land dispute remains unsolved. The contested land stretches across the villages of Waka Waka, Chinawampiti, Kiruma, Igotero, Namalesa and Isinde, and it is a home to an estimated population of more than 9,000 people. Residents insist they have ancestral and biological ties to the land. However, the dispute has been complicated by the involvement of New Forest Company, which is operating on the land leased to Kinyara Sugarcane Estate by a one David Ocheng. During a meeting attended by district local leaders and security officials, both parties presented their claims before the minister in an effort to justify their positions. After years of litigation in various courts, affected residents say they are now pinning their hopes on the presidential intervention and the minister's fact-finding mission to deliver a lasting solution.
I'm just going to go back and write to the respective agencies for a team to be formed up.
So I'm sure, given this resource area available, we shall not fail to have a clear way forward.
Robert Nyango, UBC News.
The second Deputy Prime Minister, Dr. Crispus Kionga, has urged fresh graduates at King Caesar University to take advantage of the key growth drivers of agro-industrialization, tourism development, and ICT to contribute to the personal development of their livelihoods and the country's economic transformation at large. Let's take a look.
Into a graduation ground.
The sixth graduation ceremony of King Caesar University saw 369 students awarded certificates, diplomas and degrees in various disciplines. The celebrations began with a Thanksgiving Mass led by the Archbishop of Kampala, Paul Semogerere. Speaking at the function, Vice-Chancellor Charity Basaza described this year's cohort as the university's best performing class recording the highest number of first-class degrees since the institution's establishment. She challenged graduates to use their education in service of society.
As you leave King Caesar University, I invite you to carry with you the three enduring values that define our institution: truth, innovation, and service. Seek the truth. In an age where information is abundant, but wisdom is often scarce, let honesty, integrity, and intellectual curiosity guide your decisions. Embrace innovation. The world you are entering is changing at an unprecedented pace.
Chairperson of the University Council, Dr. Chris Bayomusi, reaffirmed the Council's commitment to expanding and strengthening the institution into a leading center of higher learning. He also assured medical graduates that government is reviewing policies to address concerns surrounding medical internships.
I know the scare in your heart is about internship. Internship, because you could have seen stories that were speaking to policy changes regarding internship. I just want to give you assurance that we are reviewing the policy, and I want to quote the words of Jesus, that let your hearts not be troubled.
Delivering a keynote address, Second Deputy Prime Minister Dr. Crispus Kionga urged graduates to uphold integrity, discipline, and value-based leadership as they enter the world of work.
I encourage each of you to develop a personal life mission statement that will guide you towards fulfilling your purpose in life. Live within your means, remain disciplined, and remember that financial discipline is essential for long-term success.
Dr. Kionga further encouraged the graduates to take advantage of opportunities in the government's priority growth sectors, including agro-industrialization, tourism development, ICT, saying these remain critical to Uganda's economic transformation.
I urge you to take advantage of the opportunities within these sectors and contribute to our personal development and to Uganda's socio-economic transformation.
The world you enter today will reward you, those who continue learning. It will reward those who adapt. It will reward those who innovate. Most importantly, it will reward those whose character can be trusted.
The ceremony marked another milestone for King Caesar University as hundreds of graduates joined the country's workforce with a call to contribute to the national development through innovation, entrepreneurship, and service. Lydia Chomkama, UBC News.
Members of the Teso parliamentary group are appealing to President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni to exercise mercy, leniency, and reconciliation towards the former Speaker Anita Among. The legislators say a visit to Among revealed deteriorating physical and emotional health compounded by the effects of prolonged confinement and the freezing of her accounts. In an open appeal adopted on Thursday, the MPs are also asking the President to consider restoring her freedom and financial access. They argue that the measure her constitutional duties and the livelihoods of people linked to her lawful enterprises.
While we fully appreciate the importance of accountability and the rule of law, we respectfully pray that compassion may accompany justice in considering her present circumstances. Your Excellency, we therefore pray that 1. The Right Honorable Anita Among be granted greater freedom to enable her to properly manage her health and continue fulfilling her constitutional mandate to represent the people who elected her. 2, consideration be given to unfreezing her accounts to enable her meet her lawful obligations and restore the livelihoods of many Ugandans whose employment and welfare have been adversely affected. 3, in exercising your wisdom and compassion, Your Excellency, may you remember the humble contributions that the Right Honorable Annette Anita Mong has made in the service of Uganda and extend her mercy, forgiveness, and reconciliation.
The people who are having employment under her, for instance, she has the schools. We are told some of the teachers cannot be paid. The students are there. The accounts cannot be operated. It is a big thing.
As it is right now, she gets services indoor, and other services like scanning and the rest cannot be given to her.
Your Excellency, I know you have a heart of a father. I speak as a mother and a woman. Having seen my fellow woman, I may not speak much, but I pray to the President as the father of this nation.
The appeal being made today is for mercy. All of us know, even criminals, the President has a prerogative of mercy.
The Minister for Northern Uganda, Beatrice Akello, has called on development partners to support the adoption of the government's 4-acre model as a strategy for accelerating socio-economic transformation in the region. While meeting a delegation from the Hunger Project, Uganda, at the office of the Prime Minister, Akello said that the initiative aligns with President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni's vision of moving households from subsistence farming to commercial production and improving livelihoods.
How are you helping these people in terms of their homesteads to ensure that they have food throughout the season?
Sometimes you go to a community, for them they want value addition equipment. Then maybe government spends on that. But then you might find this community has not also mass produced the things which are going into this value addition. So you find some redundancy.
While meeting a delegation from the Hunger Project Uganda, Minister Beatrice Akello called on the organization to support the rollout of the government's flagship 4-acre model initiative. She noted that the partnership would help empower households to increase agricultural productivity, improve incomes, and contribute to the country's broader development goals.
In this demo that you have, can we collaborate? We have a 4-acre model, a demo. Then you walk the group through our efforts, through our support also as Ministry of Northern Uganda, to see that those groups, some of them start scaling down from this demonstration farm that we have for it, maybe for Noya district. Then you scale it down, that some of these group members, they have started the real intervention.
The minister also commended the Hunger Project Uganda for its continued efforts in empowering communities to transition from subsistence farming to commercial agriculture, saying the organization's work complements government's efforts to improve household livelihoods. In response, the Hunger Project Uganda Country Director, Eileen Naikalia,
The Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development has warned all illegal occupants of government land to vacate voluntarily before legal enforcement begins ahead of the nationwide inventory of all public land. The ministry says that it requires 100 billion shillings to complete the 5-year exercise, with 6 billion shillings allocated in the current financial year to kickstart the process. Let's take a look.
The government of Uganda is set to begin a nationwide inventory of public land, starting with areas considered most vulnerable to encroachment. The State Minister for Lands, Harriet Ntabazi, says poor documentation of public land has encouraged encroachment, fraudulent land titling, and illegal claims, costing government billions in lost public assets.
And it is not simply about issuing land titles. No. It is about creating, for the first time, a complete, accurate, and reliable national database of government or of government land that will strengthen planning and improve accountability and safeguard public property for generations to come.
So I call upon all accounting officers of the different ministries, departments, agencies, and local governments to conduct an audit of their internal land records and to grant our field teams seamless access and cooperate fully during the boundary verification processes.
According to the Lands Ministry, public land accounts for about 23% of Uganda's total land area, yet only 26% of it is formally titled. The exercise will include surveying and documenting government land before creating a comprehensive digital national database. The ministry adds that persistent land conflicts have delayed government projects and discouraged investment due to challenges in accessing and allocating public land.
For many years, government has faced increasingly a lot of challenges because of lack of this record, arising from encroachment, fraudulent titling, overlapping claims from people who want to steal from, encroach on this land. We've had many cases, very many cases, people claiming to own government land, but eventually are challenged. And now these challenges have delayed strategic investments, more especially industrialization. Investors come because there are wrangles on the land, they delay for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. And this one has a cost.
Officials say bona fide occupants will have their interests considered in accordance with the law through established regularization mechanisms. However, those occupying public land illegally are being urged to vacate voluntarily before enforcement action begins. Crispus Adinitwe, Ibrahim Sitenda, reporting for UBC.
Now, from a story we had earlier shared, the first group of Ugandans evacuated from South Africa has arrived home after weeks of anti-illegal immigration protests and violence against foreign nationals. A total of 273 people returned aboard a special Uganda Airlines charter flight, with the government saying that more evacuation flights will follow as hundreds more prepare to return.
Relief, smiles and emotional reunions marked the arrival of the first group of Ugandans evacuated from South Africa as they stepped onto home soil at Entebbe International Airport in the early hours of Friday morning. After clearing immigration, the returnees were seen wheeling their suitcases through the arrivals terminal, many accompanied by children, bringing to an end a difficult journey home. The 273 returnees were received by Acting Minister of Foreign Affairs Haruna Kasolo and Uganda's High Commissioner to South Africa, Paul Amoru, who accompanied them on the flight back home. Kasolo told the returnees that President Yoweri Museveni had agreed to meet them after the evacuation exercise to hear first-hand accounts of what they experienced in South Africa.
And him being a parent, when I delivered the same, he actually welcomed the idea. And I'm happy to inform you that he's more than ready to meet with you.
Kasolo said government was already putting in place support programs through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Diaspora Department and other agencies to help them settle back home. He reminded them that leaving Uganda in search of better opportunities was not a crime and said government was working to expand opportunities within the country.
Following the strategic directive laid out, the government is fully committed to ensuring that all remaining registered nationals are safely repatriated back home.
Kasolo also confirmed that 3 Ugandans lost their lives during the unrest. One was killed in KwaZulu-Natal, another died while fleeing violence in Cape Town, while efforts are underway to identify and repatriate the body of a 3rd victim. More than 800 Ugandans have so far registered for voluntary repatriation, with additional charter flights expected in the coming days. On his part, Uganda's High Commissioner to South Africa, stressed that Uganda continues to enjoy cordial relations with South Africa and thanked the South African government for supporting the evacuation while condemning the attacks.
The government of South Africa has indicated that they denounce violence by its citizens against the brothers and sisters from the African continent. And we have faith that with time we will return to normalcy.
Many of those who returned left behind nearly everything they owned. Some arrived with nothing but the clothes they were wearing after fleeing their homes as the violence spread. Their coordinator thanked the CDF, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, for helping coordinate the evacuation.
We have mothers. In this aircraft, we had 122 young kids. I would like to thank the CDF, the Chief of Defense Forces. Afande Chris, this is not the first time I'm working with General MK in addressing the plight of Ugandans abroad.
From the airport, the returnees boarded waiting buses and were taken to designated reception centers where they will undergo further registration, health screening, and documentation, including the processing of national identity cards where necessary. Government says more Ugandans are expected home aboard additional Uganda Airlines charter flights as voluntary repatriation exercise continues.
East-West, home is best. Seasoned journalist and independent magazine CEO Arnold Wadulo has been dragged to court for allegedly defaming a natural medicine researcher. Natural medicine researcher and innovator David Semfuka seeks $300 million over alleged defamatory statements that portrayed him as a con man.
The court action follows a long-running public debate surrounding Semfuka's research into medicinal plants and their potential role in cancer treatment.
The boy called Semfuka was discovered medicine for diabetes and cancer. The boy called Semfuka, he has discovered, not discovered, but has identified the medicine for diabetes, for I think cancer also, from our traditional herbs.
However, Semfuka fell victim of defamation rising from alleged false and malicious defamation statements regarding him as a con man. This has discouraged potential investors and affected ongoing efforts to advance his cancer research projects.
Me as a con man. Because of Andrew's statements, I have suffered concrete losses. International partners, donors, philanthropists, and foreign governments that could have invested in my research have become hesitant. Members of the general public have begun to criticize me, arguing that my innovation is a waste. This criticism has turned the tide against me and has twisted my efforts from those of an innovator and a patriot into those of a supposed enemy of the state, leaving me feeling like a social misfit who now struggles to move freely and confidently in public. My reputation and professional standing in medical research have been shattered in ways that are almost impossible to quantify. The high levels of stress, anxiety, and great inconvenience because of publications in the independent magazine and the way it has reshaped how the world perceives me and my work.
Semfuka has now taken legal action.
Legal action against Mr. Arnold Wadulo.
Okuwabira mwami Mwenda Andrew kumutwala mu kooti nga muvunaana okumpandikako kalebule. Ngenda kutwala Mwenda mu kooti nga nsaba ndiyirire $300,000 kubanga projekiti gyawandiikako ng'ajolonga bangi abagitaddemu ssente ate bangi abagisuubiriramu.
Irene Faith Nantongo, Joseph Muyingo, UBC News.
And furthermore, the Katikkiro of Buganda, Charles Peter Mayiga, on Friday inspected the final phase of restoration works at the Kasubi Royal Tombs, reaffirming the kingdom's commitment to preserving one of its most treasured cultural heritage sites. Mayiga toured the remaining restoration works on several huts within the royal grounds months after officially announcing the completion of the restoration of the main tomb Muzibu Azala Mpanga on 12th December 2025 with only minor finishing works left.
We are here to announce today on the 12th of December 2025 that the works of restoring Muzibu Azala Mpanga have been completed.
The Katikkiro of Uganda, Charles Peter Mayiga, has paid a courtesy visit to Kasubi Tombs to assess the progress of the work he announced ready on 12th December 2025. The Katikkiro of Uganda, Charles Peter Mayiga, has expressed satisfaction with the progress of restoration works at the Kasubi Royal Tombs, saying the project is nearing completion. Mayiga arrived at UNESCO World Heritage Site at around 11 a.m., accompanied by ministers and senior officials from the Buganda Kingdom. As tradition demands, the Katikkiro first entered Muzibu Azala Mpanga, where he paid tribute to the departed Kabakas of Buganda. He was then led by officials at the Royal Tombs on an inspection tour of the various restored structures and sections on the site, some of which are undergoing final finishing works. Addressing the media after the tour, Mayiga said the restoration has reached an advanced stage and that the site is once again attracting both local and international visitors.
As you can see here where we are assembled, there are a number of very important houses, each with its own meaning, which had to be worked on. Now, when you look at them, they give you the impression that work has been going on them. And so many other houses. There is one called Ndogobu Kaba at the entrance, which houses the royal drums of Kabaka Mutesa, the founder actually of this site. So that one is also almost done. And firefighting equipment is being maintained very well. The fire drills are being carried out regularly.
He said the kingdom's priority is now to ensure proper maintenance of the restored heritage site to preserve its cultural significance for future generations.
And we shall continue maintaining the standards and making sure that the status of this most important site is reflecting our values as we would like them to be reflected.
Mayiga also commended the development partners, cultural institutions and all those who have contributed to the reconstruction and restoration of the historic site.
The personnel, the cultural personnel manning the site, from the Katikkiro to the Bazana and Abasige, Abagalagala, I think are being taken good care of, and the situation right now is quite encouraging, and we hope that the visitors who come to savor the cultural mores of this place are getting a good impression.
The Kasubi Royal Tombs were destroyed by fire on 16th March 2010 in an incident whose cause has never been conclusively established. Reconstruction and restoration works began in 2014 through a partnership between the Buganda Kingdom, the Government of Uganda and international partners, with work still ongoing. Winnie Nalusiba reporting for UBC TV.
And more in our UBC News tonight, the Lamour County Member of Parliament, Johnson Kezekia Nyeko, has donated 10 million shillings to St. Peter's Church in Naguru to kickstart a savings and credit cooperative organization. The initiative, funded from his first parliamentary salary, is aimed at promoting financial independence among church members through savings, affordable loans and small business development. Church leaders have welcomed the donation, describing it as a seed for long-term economic transformation, while urging transparency and accountability in managing the SACCO funds. Members have pledged support to ensure that the initiative grows into a strong community financial institution.
The biblical principle of giving came to life at St. Peter's Church, Naguru. Lamour County MP Johnson Kezekia Nyeko delivered on his pledge, donating 10 million shillings to start a savings and credit cooperative organization. The fund will allow church members to buy shares, access affordable credit, and launch small businesses.
I realize that our people who pray, who mostly pray here, they're the same people who come from the village there. And they are not well-to-do people. And I'm trying to show them a way how they can help themselves by pulling all their money together. So in order to do this, there was need for me to give a seed money as an opening venture. So I decided to offer my first salary as MP.
Church leadership praised the gesture. The vicar, Reverend Pascal Ochung Koma, described the contribution as the seed for economic transformation, but warned that success hinges on strict integrity.
This is the beginning of the bigger thing. We are going to do it quietly as St. Peter's Naguru. I think the time has come when we need to flourish. Amen? Amen. I and you. We are going to be as faithful as transparent as people who believe in the Lord. Amen? Amen. Believers are always transparent and also integrity. We are going to have that. Amen? And it's going to be one of our core values. We are going to have the vision for this. We are going to have the mission and what are our core values.
The head of laity, Otimong, and church treasurer, Richard Okello, assured members of strict accountability. Excited congregants pledged to support this initiative, hoping it will eventually evolve into a full community bank.
You and friends, I just want to inform you on behalf of the church leadership that what Honorable said today, he has fulfilled it in full swing. We can attest to it that we have the 10 million here. And I just want to pray that may the Almighty God bless you.
Honorable, that God has put him in this position, because we had already seen in him the person who would come and develop the entire. He is a man who loves those who are down, and we knew when he goes up, we will also go up. Now what he has done today, he has begun the foundation of our circle for the church, which we are calling Rehoboth Circle of St. Peter's Naguru. What he has done is a very good gesture. And in the near future, we are going to have something which might even end up developing into a very big bank.
The Uganda Communications Commission has reaffirmed its commitment to supporting community development initiatives, announcing a 12 million shillings contribution towards health and humanitarian projects spearheaded by the Rotary Club of Kampala Springs. Speaking as chief guest during the installation of Christopher Kamukama as the president of the Rotary Club of Kampala Springs, UCC Executive Director Nyombi Tembo said that partnerships between government, institutions and service organizations are critical in improving the lives of Ugandans.
Congratulations.
UCC Executive Director Nyombi Tembo applauded Rotary's sustained interventions in health, education, water and sanitation, saying the Commission remains committed to supporting initiatives that complement government's socio-economic transformation agenda.
Through our corporate social responsibility, Mr. President, we shall this year support you with 10 million Uganda shillings. Support your projects, and that's UCC. And an individual, because I'm your friend, we give cows. I got cows from your great-great-grandfathers. I now also have cows, but I won't give cows today. But as an individual, as your meeting and family, we'll top it up with another 2 million.
Incoming President Christopher Kamukama unveiled an ambitious service agenda that includes medical camps, support for the Joint Clinical Research Center's bone marrow transplant program, among others.
And this is the team that I trust that we will succeed in all our endeavors as we run our year. Thank you for accepting to work with me. I thank you so much. I'll work with you. My job will be to lead you.
Outgoing President Joseph Semwemba urged members to sustain the club's spirit of service and build on achievements registered in health, education and community development.
We know and we trust that you bring vision, passion and new strength. And we know that you take this club to heights and to the highest of dreams. As I hand you this presidential chain, I also hand you my promise that I'm stepping away, promising that I'm stepping beside you, and please count on my full support and time.
We also launched a water project serving over 4,000 households in Makulubita, Luwero. Thank you, and this took us to qualify for a global grant. So I pray that incoming President-elect Chris, we shall implement and finish this. I know Springers, we are big achievers, so I know we are going to do it.
For UBC News, I am Sudat Kaye.
And that's it for today. Till the next episode.
Like a daily bando, like a daily bando, like a daily bando. Omulirongo ulira muli mumutima kukankana like drums. Kalakata, kalakata, enendongo ya kusabula. Mikono juu, free of fire, free of fire, free of fire.
Makerere Institute for Social Development, a certified institution for higher learning, invites applicants for certificates and diploma courses like accounting and finance, procurement, journalism, tailoring and fashion design, with many other skills-tailored courses.
Our institution is compliant. First of all, it is recognized by National Council for Higher Education. We are certified. The registration number is UBB 187.
Tested and tried since 1995, Makerere Institute for Social Development is your solution when it comes to quality education.
You may apply for January, May, August intakes. Find us along Sir Apollo Kagwa Road, opposite Makerere University Sports Ground. Our tuition is affordable with a state-of-art facilities. Early birds stand a chance to grab themselves bursaries. MISD or Makerere Institute for Social Development, facilitating your career.
Step into elegance, step into confidence, step into La Vie Boutique. Located at Grand Imperial Hotel, Shop 6 and 8, right behind Bank of Uganda. La Vie Boutique brings you high-class corporate and casual wear for men. From sharp designer suits and crisp shirts to stylish casual t-shirts, tracksuits, shoes and accessories, we've got everything to make you stand out. Call us on 0772 419 181 or 0705 555 558. La Vie Boutique, where class meets style.
There's a new way to keep your breath fresh all day. Introducing Movit All Day Toothpaste, meant to give you powerful night gum defense and teeth whitening. The charcoal flavor gives you deep cleansing and power stain removal. And the herbal delivers natural strength for healthy, confident smiles. Choose Movit All Day Toothpaste and enjoy freshness all day.
Going out without a fear, stepping out on every rock. I'm making my world just like I always wanted. Living further and beyond, growing up every day is the goal that I made up for me. That's why I believe in you. Inco, and that's why I'm always looking for you. Inco, that's why I believe in you. Inco, and that's why I'm always looking for you. Inco.
I'm called Awidi Isabella.
I'm studying from Villa Maria School of Nursing. I've won a school fees with the MTN Momo. This school fees you win for a full year, which I'm very happy for it. I thank MTN Momo for helping me in paying my school fees.
We've paid all the fees for the year.
Thank you very much, because on Wednesday, the principal told me, look for my money and bring my money. I told her, me, I don't have money now. You have to wait until I get the money. But when I left our office, at 3, they called me that you have won the money from Momo. I said, how does it happen?
As long as you pay school fees using Momo, you stand a chance to win school fees for a year. Dial *165 *80# to win school fees for a year and more.
They share an office. Some work in the day, some at night. What they have in common: focus, dedication. That's what makes them champions. They also share something else: the reward of being one. The official beer of the FIFA World Cup 2026. Not for persons under the age of 18. Drink responsibly.
Introducing the all-new Roofing's TMX 500C rebars with cut and bend services. Roofing's, strength of a nation. Alo.
Ese mwami mukasa.
Mutyaneyo.
Yono broka.
Yenze broka wa mayumba.
Bangambye ne nyumba za mwenunjiko.
Kituufu. Oyagala abisenge bimeka?
Nga bisatu.
Ebbeeyi bagigambye?
Abangambye *5.
Nedda ssebo eno zaali nnyamuuko.
Lwaki?
Anti langi gye tusiigisa ya mulembe. Kati ne value y'ekitundu yalinnya.
Musiigisa ki?
Global Paints.
Mutya.
Ku ceiling tukozesa Global Mat. Ate munda ne tukozesa Global Silk Vinyl.
Singa kwetaga wabweru.
Wabweru tukozesa Global Weather Coat Emulsion.
Owa. Kusiiga gye musiiga. Ogwo omutindo ogusasulira essente zonna.
Guli wumite.
Global Paint, a reliable product.
Welcome back. You're still watching the UBC News Tonight, broadcasting live from Nile Avenue. For many politicians, success is measured by the elections and public office. But for Mr. Peter Ogwang, success now stretches far beyond politics. In the plains of Katakwi district, a livestock ranch has grown into a thriving enterprise, creating jobs. Inspired by President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the venture is now supporting communities and securing a future beyond government service.
The evening sun hangs low over Katakwi as hundreds of cattle and goats slowly make their way back home. In the process, they raise clouds of dust across the grazing fields. Beside them stands Peter Ogwang, not as a minister, but as a farmer, overseeing a dream built over the years.
The president did host me in Chisozi farm, and I spent there 3 days with him. He took me there. I actually didn't know why he had called on me, but when I was there, I saw him attend to his cows.
Inspired by that visit, Ogwang invested in land and livestock, but the journey was far from smooth. Disease, poor systems and cattle losses nearly forced him to quit, but he did not.
So I lost quite a big number, but most of the ones which I lost were those I had bought. I lost about 80, so the number came down. I had almost reached a point of giving up, but I still remain. So I brought a veterinary experts here. They told me the problem was entirely, had a problem with water. I'm happy you've seen. I dug a dam there, then I had a problem. I didn't have a spray race. I'm happy you saw I had to bring in some people to put in money to build a spray race. And then also the guy told me to get some serious herdsmen who could keep the cows.
Today, healthy bulls, breeding cows, and growing numbers of calves tell a different story. The ranch has evolved into a profitable enterprise built on improved livestock management.
I have about 120 bulls which are ready for sale. Of course, still I bring people who come here, and some of them some I agree with them, friends, I need us to have a general price which is cutting across, and also most of them I sell not less than 4 million shillings. So because of that, if you remember, I sold 120, that was almost about to 480 million, and I want to confirm there is no tax.
For Ogwang, this ranch represents more than income. It is a long-term investment designed to support his family and community long after his time in politics. Beyond cattle, another project is transforming lives. Thousands of goats distributed to women in his constituency have become a stepping stone from subsistence to ownership of larger livestock.
The goats project, I entirely get them and give it to the communities, to my constituents. And I want to say, I have cases where I've given women 1 goat, and now that 1 goat has translated into buying a cow. It has reached to 2-3 cows.
The farm is also creating jobs, employing local workers, and supporting veterinary services in the area.
In as far as this work is concerned, I want to say farming is the best way to go. So now, how many do I employ here? I almost employ about 12 people. And that one, I pay them well. I motivate them, because at least I want a hard-working a person who is able to help me keep cows.
As the herd settles for the night, Ogwang is already looking ahead, expanding the ranch, improving breeds, and increasing production.
The land, of course, as of now, I can say what I've fenced is 2 square miles. That's what I was able to buy, but I have additional 2 square miles which I've already paid for, because that's why you see now, if you are to go for ranching, you must prepare to have enough land. That's why now every time I sell them, I keep on buying. At the time I came here, land was cheap, but as of today, most people have now known that there's value of this land. And for those who don't know where I am, I'm in a border between Teso and Karamoja.
His message to aspiring farmers is simple. Start small, stay committed, and learn the right practices.
If you don't have a cow as an Itesutu man, there's one saying that you're not a man. So anyone who wants to be like me must be committed. Number 2, must have good workers. Number 3, they must accept to do the correct systems. There's no shortcut. I tried it. That's why I lost over 80 cows. At that point, I was almost giving up.
As darkness falls over Katakwi, the ranch grows quiet. But behind every returning herd is a story of resilience, investment, and a legacy Peter Ogwang hopes will endure far beyond politics. Henry Okrut, UBC.
They say that the chances of you remaining the same when you cross paths with power are slim. And that's the story of Peter Ogwang meeting the president and eventually turning into a herdsman. Very inspiring story. Thank you, Henry Okrut, and also thank you for watching the UBC News tonight. My name is Wadulo Arnold Mark. I'm styled by Lavi Boutique, located on Grand Imperial Hotel, Shop 6 and 8, right behind Bank of Uganda. Have yourselves a lovely evening.